Hey, what's up everyone? This is the VG Pierce. I'll be coming at you with a gameplay review of Endless Legends, and this is going to be by the people of Amplitude Studios. And so this is going to be a turn-based 4X strategy game, and just in case you guys don't know what 4X means, that is going to be to explore, expand, exploit, and exterminate anybody who's going to be in your way. So we're going to take a look at what this game has to offer, and here you can do all the settings for yourself. I actually would recommend you do this and pick and choose what you would like. And we can take a look here. You can lead one of 8 civilizations each with a unique gameplay style and storyline. So here, an example of that, these Broken Lords, their main victory type is Conquest, and they are going to be a faction of knights and town builders here. And the nice thing about them is that they have this ability, Appetite for Dust, and so they cannot see, gather, or use any of the food items, but they can use dust to create population. And that is going to be the very different thing about them, is that they are going to be able to use that dust for various things. So here you can actually think about it and use that to your advantage, so that when the winters come, and those winters are very harsh, okay, lots of negative modifiers, especially one of them to food, but here you don't have to worry about that. As a Broken Lords, you just have to just put your populace to whatever you need, most likely dust creation, and then be alright. And when you do create a new city, then you can just purchase up your population and start off with like 4 or 5 straight away, instead of having to get one and then wait for the second one and then third one whenever the food is going to be available. And then another difference, and I'm not going to cover each one of them, but another interesting faction to note is going to be this one here. That's going to be their main victory type, Economy. And so one of the nice things about the roving clans is that they get this ability, cuts both ways. And so whenever another empire buys or sells, then the roving clan traders will always take a slice of the action. And how much is that slice? 12.5% of the dust of the transaction fee. So that is really nice. So when you're going to be playing against one of these guys that have roving clans, you got to watch out. Don't want to use that marketplace too much to buy and sell stuff, because they're going to be profiting as well. And another nice thing too is that these guys don't necessarily have an army of their own. They can just get mercenaries, and they won't be flying underneath the roving clan's colors, and then they use these mercenaries and then siege your cities and really mess up your economy in that respect. And then they'll be like, oh well, I don't know what's going on. Oh, that's really bad, these mercenaries just knocking at your doorstep all the time. Oh, I'm so sorry. And then meanwhile they're paying them off on the back end, going, good job guys, good job. And that is the really interesting thing about playing each separate type of faction, each one of them with their own little things that you could do. And that is the really fun thing about this game. Each faction just totally different from one another. But I am going to go ahead and load up my game to show you a little bit more about what this game is going to be about. And really, this is nice screenshots, pictures here for you. Really gets you into the mood, gets you nice and immersed into this world of Auriga that they have created for you. And here you can just get a good feeling that you are about to step into something really deep, and you just really can't wait to get in there. Now, I will say that this loading does take a little bit, but hey, you know, after this loading is going to be done, no problem. After that, there's not going to be any real loading screens at all, except for maybe the battle screens. But even the battle just unfolds right before your eyes. And here, I'm close to a scientific victory. I've already discovered 2 technologies out of 5 to achieve victory. But, you know, I have to say though, they don't really say what exactly you need for the scientific victory, and I'll get into that a little bit more. But really, the victory conditions, they're not being tracked in any way until you get these pop-ups, which kind of sucks in a way, because 2 of 5 technologies, what does that mean? Well, if you didn't know any better, then you would just be like lost, okay? And what I mean by that is you need to get 5 of the level 6 research screen to win it in the science way. So yeah, I mean, I know that by kind of looking it up, but had I not looked it up, I'd be like, what? Really? Okay. So immediately you get into this game, and look how beautiful this game is. It is just awesome. I feel like I'm looking into a actual, you know, when you set up those board games, right? and those board games, and you look at it, and this is the camera just sweeping over your beautiful city. As you can see, it kind of even blends away and blurs away, and then you can see the next bit, and then the next bit. Look how beautiful and pretty it is. Now, this is the zoomed up version, but they did a lot of great detail work. Big kudos to Team Amplitude Studios for giving this level of depth here. Just the little things not going to be passed up here. So now we're going to zoom out a little bit so that we can manage the gameplay, right? So this is going to be my civilization. You can actually pan out even more. And as you can see here, anything blue is mine. And then any other color is going to be not mine. So this is going to be the green territory, the orange, and then I did have to split off and get this blue territory here in the middle. And then I am going to be looking to possibly take some stuff over. And I am going to be playing the Draken clans right now, the Draken faction. And we're going to take a look into the Empire screen for the Draken. So right here, it kind of gives you a brief overview of what they're good at. Gives diplomatic pressure, so gives the ability to force truces, peaces, or alliances on the targeted empire. So that's going to be the nice thing about the Draken race, is that you can do things that they don't necessarily like, but you know what, I'm going to force this truce or force the alliance on you, and there's nothing you can do about it. So you could really use that to your great advantage. And then you can assimilate these minor factions. That's going to be the really cool thing. You conquer and build and develop villages, and then after that, just assimilate these powerful minor factions and use their special traits and their units even wisely. So that is going to be the nice thing here. And let's get to a minor faction if I can. And here's going to be one of them right there. This is going to be a Kazanji one right over here, and this is denoted by that flag. And they can actually be crushed down as well. Here, there's a flag, so this is actually in operation right here. And this is already pacified for me, the Silix. But this is the one that's already been destroyed and will need to be rebuilt in order for them to use them and assimilate them to their maximum ability. But for right now, let's go ahead and take a look at a little bit of the action. You can press this button here to get to your units, and right now I'm at the doorstep of one of the allied cities right here. But you know what? I'm going to screw the alliance, right? And I'm going to just attack them with my guys. Sure. Declare war. It does cost diplomacy points to do so. 430 to be exact right there. And as you can see, as I'm about to attack them, it will get to an attack with them. Well, actually, I have to declare war, and then I'll be able to attack them right there. And then I can see what's happening on both sides, so we'll be able to bring in reinforcements. And they have a level 3 Centaur, so yeah, that's something I have to really worry about here. So I'm going to do this manually, and I can set my strategy for my guys, and I'm going to go offensive because I have the superior numbers here. Look at that, I got 6 wyverns. On top of that, I have a hero, and they don't have a hero. Let's just fight it out. And as you can see here, they play it right on the world map. The battles happen right there. And so they only have one unit, and then they have another one back here, I think. I think that's a unit. Actually, no, it's not a unit. They'll just be getting reinforcements. So I can actually set them up in the early going, the deployment phase, and then deploy my guys on the battlefield. It does matter whether they are uphill or downhill, and so that's something you kind of have to think about. But my units are going to be flying, and so no problem, I will be able to get to any space on the battle map. So let's go ahead and deploy and ready up. Now, in this turn-based combat, you actually don't directly control your guys. You kind of do, but you don't at the same time. So there, as you can see, my guys have already kind of picked out what they wanted to do. So let's go ahead and launch it. You can actually pick right here. I can make him go instead of fighting this guy, he'll go over there. But I'm going to right-click him instead and then launch this. So they will step up and do their actions one by one. And here, I don't have any real control, direct control over the units themselves. I just have control of what they're going to do, and that's a nice thing actually, I think, because then sometimes they'll do stuff that you don't necessarily want them to do, and it's kind of like you being a real general on the battlefield. Yeah, you tell them what to do, but then it's kind of like up to them whether they do it in a really good way or a bad way. But that's almost all dependent on the AI. And there you see 138 damage. They didn't do any damage to my flying unit. These infantry units are just woefully prepared for my flying wyverns there with 294 attack. Whereas these centaurs only have 54, and that is the real difference here. But, you know, this game almost suffers for it as well, because, you know, I have all these great flying units and they can level up as well, and they can equip items just like they do in some other games here, such as Legendary Heroes, the Fallen Enchantress by Stardock. But here, the difference is, though, you don't micromanage your units in the map. You just give them orders and then they execute it in whatever faction that they want. You will be able to get experience, and then you get influence points as well. So pretty nice. And we took them out, and now this area is mine, and I am dark blue and they're light blue, and so now I did take them out. And, you know, just to give you an example here, I can go to the diplomacy, and as you see here, these are going to be the light blue units there, and then I can actually force a truce with them as long as I have enough diplomacy points to do so, and I do. So I can just declare it right there and then force them into a truce right after I just took their city. I just took their city and I just made them into a truce. So now they can't even attack me back. Even if I was really woefully defended, no problem. Now there are going to be repercussions though. The other AI guys that are being controlled will be like, what? You just attacked the allied city? So they should be withdrawing from all of the alliances right now. This is the allied screen right here, and then this is going to be the peace screen as you can hover over it. So alliance, and then the peace, and then this is the Cold War. So when I called that truce, then now we're back to a Cold War, and this is just all at war between our two factions right here. Alright, so we're going to just briefly go over each little bit here and talk about the Empire. This is going to be it right here, and then the assimilated factions, and this is the Empire plan that you can use the diplomacy points for. So the Draken is well suited to actually win it by diplomacy, and that's why I actually have a lot of influence. And so you can actually simulate what you're going to be having, so that when they are going to do the Empire plans every so often, I forget which, but it does tell you right here there's going to be 11 turns away. But I can simulate what I want to get with my current points at the moment. Right now it's at 870, so I won't be able to actually get much if I just simulate it. I have to simulate just 800 points, as you can see, which won't be that much stuff. So that is the interesting thing, and right here it tells you exactly what you get: Empire bonuses and all this other great stuff, 20% unit cost reduction because of my Empire plan. And that's the nice thing, all my luxury resources, strategic resources as well. You go into the next tab and it will tell you the city list. You can actually just double click and it'll go straight to your city, and this is the one that I just grabbed right here, so that's why it's in rebellion. But as long as you get happy, they'll actually get positive modifiers if they're happy or even fervent, and that's nice things. Tells you exactly what's going to be in construction. And here the research screen, I kind of went over it before, but the research screen is going to be the same for each faction. The only difference is that when they begin the game, each faction will begin the game with different technologies already inherent upon them. So that will be the difference here between the factions in that respect. And here's going to be the quest that you can actually do for you guys. And right now I'm in several quests, but this is going to be the one that you really be focusing on, the faction quest. And this is going to be the way that you can win it by the wonder. And that is one of the different ways you can win. You can win it by conquering all the capital cities. You can win it by building this wonder after finishing all the faction quests for yourself. And right here they said capture the city of Donadin, and actually I did, and with a dragon hero of level 6 minimum for a period of 10 turns. So there I am going to take over Donadin, as you see here, and as long as I have my hero there inside the city for 10 turns, then I will actually start the countdown meter and finish the quest, so that I can drive to the next bit of the quest and win it in the wonder. So that's here is the great thing about it, and we'll track it. You can actually put it to where you'll track this quest and it'll pop up at the top right. And there is going to be a bit of a thing is that if you some of the quests though don't actually keep up there, a little bit of a bug right now, and this game is a little bit buggy. It's not that buggy to the point where it's unplayable, but some things such as this one right here, one of the armies that's roaming around in Uska has a treasure you seek, and right now Uska is going to be at the bottom left for me, and they're talking about these roaming army. Well, the army right now is just sitting inside the river and just floating around because my army is so strong and they're so terrified of my army that they dare not step onto the land for me to attack them. And that is, I mean, that's realistic, but at the same time very annoying because I cannot finish this quest. And I can't wait for them to come out because they won't come out of the water. So either I make boats and get them, or I just not complete the quest. Well, I'm not making boats anytime soon, so forget it. And I've been having this quest for a long time, so that's kind of one of the bad things about having some of these quests here. They're just not exactly well done. Excuse me, guys. And now, when you look at it here, they do have quests on the overview map, and this is going to be one of them right here. So when you do go over to them, let's go ahead and use my guys. I actually did garrison up these guys, but I actually still can move them actually and get them over here and move it. And here, as you can see, there's a little bit of a glowing thing that kind of tells you at the notes that you can search that. But I mean, the level of details that I had pointed out earlier almost kind of suffers on this overview map because it's kind of hard to see this little glitter here amongst all this other stuff. You have to actually go all the way out to the real overworld map before you can say, aha, there's a quest item right there. So it's a little bit of a back and forth, so I'm going to end this turn right here. And we're going to get to this quest item. And here we're going to turn into the winter time. And you're going to see here the winter time. Dark season has begun. And look at all the negative modifiers. So minus 50% in movement. And minus 1 on exploitation. And minus 1 with terrain with food. So each terrain with food is going to be minus 1. Each terrain also is going to be minus 1 in dust, less vision for expansions, less vision for cities. As you can see here, less health regen, trade routes are not as good. Minus 15% of the happiness as well, and only times 0.5 on cities for the food, and just all kinds of bad stuff here that will happen. And there, you can actually fix that though. As you can see, here's the populations, and it really matters because if you move it over here, like right now I'm at -3 food, so if I keep it like that, then the population will reduce. So I'll actually have to do something about that, move my population over to the point where they will produce more guys, and then they'll be able to grow. And this is going to be that chart right here. And again, if I take that off, I'll get more of the science, but they won't be able to grow right here. So if I want to keep my city growing, then I want to put my population right on top of that. And here, since I am going to be focusing mainly on diplomacy victory, that's why I have guys here on the diplomacy points so that I can generate the maximum points. So let's go ahead and continue on, and let's get to the quest. And as you see, I'm building roads already because I did finish the highway roads. And since this is a city that I did take over, I do inherit how many populations that they have. And that's the nice thing, if you're going to be playing the Broken Lords factions that you have to purchase the population, well, taking over somebody's city that already has a high population, you don't necessarily need to spend that much money. Alright, let's move over here, and unfortunately it's going to be a little bit slower since it's winter time, but that's going to be the nice thing about it, a little bit of a monkey wrench thrown into your plans when winter time comes around, and actually all of your cities here, if you look at it, will be suffering as well, and denoted by all this other stuff. But right now looking okay. Look, minus in money in this one as well, so it's something I might have to take care of, but since I'm just kind of showing you guys out here what's going on, then not going to be worried about it right now. So I'm going to search here this location, and it's going to be just dust, 180 dust, so that's nice. And this is going to be here where your dusts are and all the stuff for you and what you're researching at the top left. But it's just most of the times these little places that does have the quest marker on there, it's just going to be dust. And here, as you can see here, the quests are already going to be predetermined. They aren't going to be spawning in random places. No, they're actually going to be in predefined places. And so, as long as you've already seen where it's at, well, this is going to be where it's at. And some quests actually says, okay, go to this other quest marker. Well, usually the other quest marker is going to be one of these other ones right here. And so, you will be able to just go over to it and then just click on it, and that's it. So that's kind of a bad thing. It's not randomized in any respect. The good thing about this game, though, is what I really like about it is that it defines each place, each land area that you get with your city by regions. And so as you can see here, they even named them for you already. They are already differentiated by that. And unlike, say, Civilization or even Fallen Enchantress that I had kind of pointed out, when you start out, you only start off with like a little square, right? But here, you already own all of this land right here. And so all you need to do is that when you are going to be stretching out your city, and as you see here, I'm going to be choosing my city as well, then right here I have these 2 spots for my city, and then they'll be able to make use of all of the building or the dust or the food items in each of these little squares. But here I actually own all of this other land, so with this one here, there's going to be a wine extractor right here, so I can actually click on it and it'll create a wine extractor right there. And this other one, I think over here, yes, this is going to be the faction. Oh, and here's going to be a haunts faction. So there I can actually get this, and when I rebuild this, I will be able to assimilate them as well. Alright, so now I'll take a look here, and this is to manage your heroes. And so the nice thing, just as you can in Legendary Heroes, these dudes do level up as well, and they also have skill trees, but they are going to be with class based and then also faction based. So each one of them, if they're going to be your support class, then they're all going to have the same tree right here. And since these are going to be a Draken hero, each Draken hero will have the same faction skill tree. The good thing is that they are going to be nice and varied in that respect. But if you keep getting Draken heroes, you're going to see the same skill trees. And so, you know, I mean, this game has variety, but you know, I feel like it doesn't have enough variety. So if you take a look at this hero and you expect them that way, and you can give them items here. I actually gave them this quest item, the Shard of Icarael. And that is the really nice stuff too. You can give them specific stuff, and all you need to do is have the resources handy to actually equip them and give them the tier 3 stuff for them. But here, this is going to be class specific yet again. He's an infantry class, so he has access to this infantry tree, and then the faction for the Broken Lords tree. And then this is going to be the common tree that is common for everybody. So as you see here, for this other hero, that common tree, well, look, it's the same thing. So they do share some skill trees, but not all of them. It just really depends on what class they are and what faction they are. And you actually sell the heroes as well. Look, 2,300 to sell Lord Keeper Masarka. And you can make it to where you get to this army tab and you can see where all your armies are. And right now, look, I'm playing on normal difficulty, and look, I only need 1 army to crush everything. And okay, already you've seen the diplomacy action in action. And here's the marketplace, and this is the good and bad thing I feel about this game. I do like that there's a marketplace that you can buy and sell everything, but I mean, you can buy and sell everything, so there's no real need to trade with any other factions. Why give them the satisfaction, right? I could just keep selling to this, and then nobody really benefits as long as there's no roving guys here. I forget what it's called. Roving clans here to take advantage of the 12.5%, right? But there is, and so I have to really worry about that. But hey, if he benefits, then at least the other guys don't, right? Especially if say another faction was in the lead or was close to you, then sure, I'll just sell my stuff, and if the roving clans get to it, then great. If they make use of it, then that's all right. But here's a bit of a downfall as well. Right now, you can't say, okay, I have 270 glass steel. Okay, let's put in 207, right? Nope. Nope, right now you cannot sell more than 10 items at a time, which is silly. Why do that? Why do that? I mean, I can only sell 10 at a time, so that means I gotta click, what, 10 times to get to 100? And, you know what I mean? Like, what's up with that? Why can't I just put in all the number that I want? Oh, gosh. You know, just some things in this game just kind of doesn't make sense. So, that right there is a bit of a downfall here. And here you can actually buy units for yourself. You could buy here the Centaur, whatever unit that you had assimilated, and for me it's the Centaur races. Then you actually purchase them. And here's going to be the heroes. And right now the heroes, they're really not that much more different from one another. As you can see here, I have a pick of, I guess, 10 heroes right there. Yeah, 10 heroes. But what's the difference between all of them? Well, you can see that, okay, the hit points, 210 hit points, 104 defense, 60 attack, 56 initiative, and actually you could hover over it and tell you all that stuff. But really, what is the difference? You can hover over some of them. And the nice thing about having a hero is that, yeah, it can bolster your armor, but it can also make it to where you bolster your city as well. So if you wanted one to bolster your city, then you choose one that gives you something that'll have a booster for you right there. So for Perks or Pex Care third, then he has science efficiency and science boost. So you actually maybe think about picking him up and help you out in the science efficiency for your city right there. And that is the difference. But let's say you want an attacker, well then you take a look at here, army attack boost and army critical boost, and you might think about picking him up instead. But really, it's all about looking at, okay, the attack and then seeing how much damage that they do. And so this guy actually seems to be the best guy for an attack. And this is how much they cost right here. And the standard price for these guys as well. So you can take a look at the market rate, so the demand for them, and so you can see if they're higher or lower. But I mean, there's no real difference. Look, they're all basically the same price. Look, 1719, 1719. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, just I don't get that. Why even have that? They're all pretty much the same price. There's no real difference between them at all. And then on top of that, they are all the same levels except for this guy right here. But of course, he's going to be a little bit more money. So why get anyone else? And look, and here, this is what I don't like as well. They have Baron Jocelyn Devil III, right? Well, I've seen it to where you can see the same named person, but number 2 or number 4. What's up with that? The heroes just aren't any more different. So it's like they give you variety, but not enough variety. And you know, that is the main downfall of this game. Just that you can see that, oh, this could be so much more, but it isn't at this moment. So that is one of the really bad things about this game, is that right now, and it just came out not too long ago, just a few days ago, and this game, you just have a sense of that, okay, the first time you play this game, a lot of people are going to put it on maybe the normal mode or maybe the easy mode just to get a taste for it because of the learning curve that's required of any strategy game, really. But they're going to be disappointed to find out that the second time they load it up with playing another faction, sure, they'll delight in the fact that their faction is going to be played a lot differently than another faction that they previously played. But when they get to it, the quest, you're mainly going to be collecting dust. And it's right now, I've played this, what, 3 or 4 times already. I've already invested about 30 to 40 hours in this game just to really get a good taste of this game. And it's basically the same quest right now. But you know what though? I do have a lot of faith in Amplitude Studios, just as I did for Endless Space. And they're going to keep supporting it. They're going to keep coming out with more content later on. And I'm fully confident that this will be the fully fleshed out game as it is right now. But right now, can I recommend this game? Yes and no, because really, you're still going to get 30 hours at least on average of gameplay, 20 to 40 hours, let's say. So, at the moment, it is worth it for that price tag of $30 to $40. And you know, that's my other beef too. Okay, I'm just gonna say it right now. Okay, like the $30 game right now. Okay, you only start off and you get a few things, but then if you buy the $40 founder pack, you get so much more. Why not just charge $40 and just get all that straight away? I just don't get it. I mean, it's just a ploy, and it works. And you know, I feel like just charge $40 and just give them everything. Why even give the option? Why do that? I just don't understand. So, I mean, I bought the founder pack because I wanted all that stuff. But as you can see here, even with that, it just seems not as varied as it could be. So, with that, sure, go ahead and buy it if you are fiending for a 4X strategy game at this moment. But I would definitely wait 6 months to maybe even a year to let Amplitude Studios put in all that stuff that this game really needs to just play it more, because right now as it stands it just does not compare to some of the competition, but it can look extraordinarily beautiful. Look at that. This Dragon City looks so beautiful, I have to say. And even if you look at this other city of the other factions, look, it just looks so much different. And it's just so much promise to this game. But right now, at this moment, it's just all promise. So, again, pick this up if you need it. But, I mean, I would just actually wait. So with that, this is the VG Pierced. I hope you guys have liked this gameplay review. Subscribe to me on YouTube, and I'll see you guys next time.